class of maths class. So today we will start with a new chapter, that is chapter 7, which is entitled as coordinate geometry. Okay, so in this chapter we'll be studying something which is relatively new for you. Okay, that is called as coordinate geometry, or maybe you have done a little bit of this similar topic in class 9. Okay, you have some idea or some background about this topic, a little bit you have studied maybe in class 9. So we will continue with this chapter now, chapter 7. As far as chapter 3 is concerned, that we have done enough of problems already. Okay, exercise 3D, I have given you few problems yesterday, so that would be enough for exercise 3D. Okay, so we can progress and we can continue to this next chapter, that is chapter 7, that is coordinate geometry. Okay, so what is this coordinate geometry all about? Now this coordinate geometry, it was first given by a French mathematician whose name was René Descartes. Okay, René Descartes, this French mathematician, he gave this first idea. Now he developed this idea of coordinate geometry, this René Descartes. Now, in what do we learn in coordinate geometry? It is actually nothing but a combination of two branches of mathematics, that is algebra and geometry. Okay, combination of two branches of mathematics, that is combination of algebra and geometry. Okay, they combine these two branches of maths together to get what we get as coordinate geometry, or what we get as the coordinate system. Okay, so in this coordinate system, it is like what you have in your graph. Okay, we have the two axes, right? In a graph we have this horizontal line, the horizontal line which we call as a horizontal axis, and the vertical line which we call as the y-axis. Okay, x-axis and the y-axis. This is what we get in our okay, the two axes. If we divide this plane, okay, if I divide this plane, or this plane of paper, right, this paper that I have, if I divide this paper into two halves, I will get one vertical half, right, another one I will get the horizontal half. So the vertical half, this one, it will be my vertical half. Okay, and if I divide this paper into this way, like this, so this will be my horizontal half. Okay, so in coordinate geometry as well, we get this vertical axis and the horizontal axis, just like I divide this paper. So we get the vertical axis we call as the y-axis, and the horizontal axis we call as the x-axis. I hope you know this. Okay, so here I've written, here we have x ox dash, okay, or x dash ox, all right, whatever you would like to read from first. Okay, x dash ox or x ox dash. Now this is called as what? As the abscissa. So this axis, the horizontal axis, x ox dash or x dash ox, this is called as the abscissa. Okay, abscissa, or we call as the x coordinate. So remember this one, the horizontal line, this is called as the abscissa or x coordinate. Okay, and this vertical line or the vertical axis we call as the y or y dash. So this y or y dash is called as what? As ordinate or y coordinate. Okay, so this y or y dash is called as simply as ordinate or y coordinate. So if we say ordinate, okay, so you should understand what's an ordinate. An ordinate is this vertical axis. And if someone says abscissa, what's an abscissa? Abscissa is this horizontal axis or this horizontal line. Okay, now they say that this abscissa is the perpendicular distance from y-axis. So which is your y-axis? This is your y-axis. Okay, now if we take perpendicular distance from this y-axis, okay, perpendicular distance, that means the distance that you draw towards this y-axis and it is perpendicular. Now that is called as the abscissa. Okay, and what's the abscissa? Abscissa is nothing but this x-axis. Okay, see, I hope you understand this point. See, abscissa is the perpendicular distance from y-axis. So this is the y-axis. Now any distance that you draw from this y-axis, okay, it can be this side, or it can be this side to my left, or it can be this way to the right. Any distance that you draw from this y-axis and is perpendicular to the y-axis, now that distance is called as the abscissa. Okay, it is abscissa. So the abscissa is perpendicular to the y-axis. Okay, and what about the ordinate? So which one is ordinate? Ordinate is this one, right? X-axis. Yes. So what is the ordinate? Ordinate is this y-axis, right? This is the ordinate. So this ordinate, it is the perpendicular distance that is drawn from this x-axis. Any distance that you draw and it is perpendicular. I hope you know what's perpendicular. Perpendicular means it is 90 degree, right? Like this. So any distance that I draw, supposing this my x-axis, from this x-axis, if I draw any perpendicular distance, perpendicular, okay, it's perpendicular on x-axis, perpendicular like this. Now this one we call it as ordinate. Okay, this is called as the ordinate. So, or in short, what is ordinate? Ordinate is the y-axis and x-axis is the abscissa or x-coordinate. Okay, so this is a little bit a background that you must know and you must remember. So again, let us recall again. In coordinate geometry, your plane of paper or your graph paper is divided into two planes, vertical plane and the horizontal plane. Okay, vertical axis and the horizontal axis. So this vertical axis, we call it as the x, o, x dash, and the vertical axis is represented by these alphabets y, o, y dash. Now this horizontal axis is called as the abscissa or as the x coordinate. Okay, these are called coordinates. All right, x and y, these are called coordinates. So but if we say coordinate, we have to be specific what coordinate is it x coordinate or y coordinate? Okay, and then this y, o, y dash, this is called as the ordinate. You have to remember this, ordinate or y coordinate. Okay, so I want you to write this down, okay, so that you'll remember. And this abscissa, what is abscissa? Abscissa is the x-axis, right? It is perpendicular distance from y-axis. If this is your y-axis, any distance which is perpendicular from this y-axis, either this side or this side, and perpendicular distance here to the y-axis, that is called as the abscissa. Okay, so this is the basic that you should understand about the coordinate geometry.